What's up, guys? I know it's been a minute. It's been longer than a minute. I do have a video I'm gonna upload from one of my previous trainings, but so the FAA gave me my letter and allowed me to do my medical flight test. So let me just set you guys right here for a minute and make sure you're pointed in a good direction. Hopefully that's good enough. So I'm sitting here in the Cherokee. It's not that bright, but it is a little bright. I'm getting ready to set up for a flight right now. It's probably going to be my only flight of May. I'm saving a few bucks because I'm probably going to have my check ride in July. I'm not going to say what day, but it's going to be early to mid-July, hopefully. But anyway, just a quick update. I passed my medical check ride, my medical flight test, the SMFT, the Special Medical Flight Test. We went up, me and my CFI, and we did 3 laps around the pattern. I said, that's it. Everything's looking good. I'm prepared. Let's roll. We landed, we went inside, we went over a few things real quick, did a little debrief, and that's actually my CFI is up there in a plane right now, going around the pattern in a tail wheel, I believe. But anyway, we waited for the guy to get here. He got here. We went over some paperwork, made sure my letter matched his letter. Had to show him my student pilot license, my government issued photo ID. And he said, obviously, you don't have a medical, otherwise you wouldn't be doing this. And so anyway, we went up. He brought another guy from the FAA with him. He was a trainee, another DPE, training to do the SMFT, the Special Medical Flight Test. Sorry, just getting field elevation set here. Anyway, he sat in the back of this thing. The guy that was the DPE, the safety inspector for the FAA, he sat right here. We were full of fuel. We were very heavy. I'm going to say we were like 80 pounds less than useful load. But CG and everything checked out. Everything was good. Did the weight and balance. It was all great. So we took off. We flew that way, which is south, and we went to the training grounds. He told me, basically, you're piloting command. You take me to where you guys go to do your maneuvers. So I did. We did it at 3,000 feet. Because what else happened? Oh yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Anyway, we went south. He told me that I was going to have to make some more abrupt control movements because he was going to fall asleep. That's how good I was flying. Made me feel good, you know. He was just over here looking out at the ground, just looking around, you know. And anyway, we get over to where we're going. And he says, all right, put me into slow flight. So I put him into slow flight. We're doing about 70, 75. We're in slow flight. And this Cherokee, that's pretty slow. So he says, all right, I want you to give me a power off stall, a landing stall. And I said, okay. So I did it. But I forgot to pitch down like I was going to land at first. I realized I had done it as soon as I pitched up. I said, son of a gun, I did that by mistake. Oops. So anyway, did that. Stall was perfect. With all the weight in the plane, it actually stalled really good. He said I did fine on that. Moved on to a power on stall. Did perfect on that. Before all that, by the way, he told me give me some clearing turns. He told me to give him some stalls, and I said, slow flight and stalls, and I said, well, I need to do my clearing turns first. He said, absolutely you do. So we did that first. Anyway, after the stalls, I gave him a quick steep turn real quick. That was done. Did great on that one. He said, all right, take me back to the airport. We came back to the airport. I came in at a 45 because we were going to runway 23 down here. That's 5. This is 23, right behind me on the other side of these buildings. I'm still partially in the hangar right now, setting things up for the flight. The CFI is up there flying with somebody else. And, oh, wow, we got a big old jet coming across. Pretty low altitude. Going to Richmond. Richmond is that way. Richmond International Airport, KRIC. Anyway, back to what I was saying. We entered on a 45. That's where I made my second mistake. I did not lose altitude before when I should. I should have started losing altitude 8 miles out. I started losing altitude at 5. We just made altitude for the pattern when I got to the pattern. I should have been at pattern altitude before I got there so I could get a better sight picture of what was going on. So anyway, that happened. It was a very windy day. Very windy. The winds weren't forecasted to be that high as they were, but they happened to be high. So I did a normal landing. He said I did great. I had great rudder control. Everything was good. He said, all right, let's go back around in the pattern. We're going to do a touch and go. That's what he told me before I landed. So we did the touch and go. I dropped the flaps, full throttle. We took off. So anyway, on my very first takeoff going back, when I said we were very heavy, I wasn't used to being that heavy. I was just used to me, CFI, full tanks. CFI is pretty light. I went to take off, and I was pulling back, starting to rotate at 65, right where we normally start rotating this thing slowly. When we hit 70, that's kind of rotation. So it gets there pretty quick from 65 to 70. So you might as well just start at 65, because by the time you inputs start and inputs take control, you're already at 70. I started noticing the stall warning light flicker, and I started noticing my speed wasn't great. So I nosed over, got up some speed, and then I started my climb out. He told me that was a free lesson because a lot of people don't ever fly heavy, and then after they get their PPL, they fly heavy, and that's what ends up happening, and some people crash because of it. So he said I did great at recovery on that, you know, realizing what was going on and making the necessary movements to fix it. So anyway, going forward again, like I said, it was real windy. At about 1,000 feet above the ground here is where the pattern altitude is. And it was like 30, 40 knots up there. So I was getting blown all over the place. So I was not really, man, this camera's bouncing around way too much. So I was not really, sorry about that, guys, if that's what was happening. I don't know if you guys were moving like that, but I was. Oh, well, I was seeing it. Anyway, I was getting blown all around. My pattern was not great. It was more of an oval than it was a rectangle. And he told me, kept telling me, you need to drop that wing so you can see if any traffic is coming, because some people around here don't have ADS-B, which I had my iPad hooked up to the ADS-B. And he was like, you know, you really want the best sight picture possible. I'm going to keep setting up while I'm talking, guys. So he kept telling me to drop the wing, and I kept just turning. So I didn't do great on that. That's something I need to work on. But I just did that backwards. But anyway, my next landing, great. My landing after that, awesome. So we did 3 landings, and he told me, he said, all right, we're done. Let's, and we did full stop landings, taxi backs. So he said, all right, you're done. Let's go back up to the FBO. I said, okay. I thought, guys, when he said, you're done, let's go back up to the FBO, I thought, that's it, I'm done. I made too many mistakes. And anyway, he ended up talking to me in the debrief, and he told me, he said, listen, the CFI in me wants to tell me what you did wrong and tell you ways of fixing it. So that's what I'm going to do. And he was talking to me about, you know, how to do my, how to set up for my pattern in windy conditions and everything. And that, you know, more of that would come over time. But he told me that I did everything to ACS standards, and he would have had to have passed me on a check ride. So His first words when he got out the plane was, I'm going to recommend to the FAA that they give you your medical. You should be a pilot. You're going to be a damn good pilot. And I about cried. I mean, I'm getting, whoo. It was one of the best days in my aviation career so far. Not the first flight, that day. So, he uploaded all of my documents on the 22nd of last month, which was April 22nd. There's a backlog of like 26,000 or something like 24,000 pilots waiting to get their medicals. So it's going to take a minute for them to take his recommendation and run with it, because he can't just hand you your medical. He's not qualified to do that. He is qualified to make sure that you can operate an airplane safely as a safety inspector. So that's exactly what he did that day. He made sure I could operate the plane safely. Could I get away from the airport, do these maneuvers, get back to the airport, and land without hurting the plane or anyone else or him or me? And that's exactly what I did. I got the airplane away from the airport. I did all the maneuvers, and I did it all without hurting anything or anyone. And I stayed within the ACS standards on all of my tests that he gave me. I am doing this the wrong way. I'm putting in the wrong parts. So my thing that I put on the yoke to hold the iPad, it's got these little legs I have to put on to make it smaller so you can put it in your flight bag or whatever. It's made by Arkon, A-R-K-O-N. If you guys want to look it up on YouTube, on Amazon. It's been a great little clamp, man, to hold my iPad while I'm flying. Thing's been awesome. I wish I would have bought something a little bit easier to put it together, but it is what it is and it works, so that's what I'm using. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a little update. I am going to be uploading some more film, some more flights. I think I've got one or two that I'm ready to upload for you guys. So whatever I got, I'm gonna upload it tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, May 11th. Sorry, I was tightening that thing up. Sunday, May 11th. I want to check the flaps real quick while I'm in here. First notch, second notch, third notch, second notch, first notch, and down. Good, they're working. That was my last thing on my checklist to check on the aircraft before we go flying. Man, it's getting a little darker out here already. That's okay. We got lights and stuff. Anyway, like I said, I wanted to just give you guys a little update, let you guys know what's going on. I haven't abandoned the channel at all. The channel's going to continue. I am a one-legged pilot, man. So this channel is going to keep continuing, growing. It ain't going to stop, bro. So it is what it is. If you don't like my content, that's cool. There we go. Now it's locked. But guys, I'm doing this all with like one leg, you know, and I'm trying to really make a difference in the aviation community, as far as like, you know, what you can do with a disability, you know. And I don't even look at this as a disability. I really don't. And for those guys who have not seen yet, here you go. Let me move you around real quick. There it is. There is the one leg. So I definitely have one leg, guys. But there's a lot more content to come, I promise you. I'm going to stick you guys right up here on this mount. You guys are going to go on this ride with me today. It's not going to be a super long ride, but I haven't flown in 2 or 3 weeks now. So we're going to go up, do some steep turns, some stalls, some S-turns, some turns around a point, and some landings. Probably about an hour and a half of flying. So Strap in, guys. It's going to be a good flight. It's very cool out here. Density altitude is next to nothing today. I think it's like 120 feet, and we're already at 200 feet, so I think we're good. I'm gonna get everything set up before he gets down here, get these windshields clean, because whoever did these really sucked at their job. Oh my God. And we're gonna hit to the skies. You guys will see that coming right up like now.